Okay, I'll go ahead and start with introductions. My name is Alex Soto. I'm the media education specialist here at CMAC, and I'm one of the mentors for the Youth Voices program. My first year was last year and had a lot of fun, and I'll be leading the program again this year for 2024, along with one of our other staff members, Davey Ramirez. Davey won't be able to join us on the call today, but they will be one of the mentors for the 2024 Youth Voices program. Let me go ahead and share my screen. For the most part, it'll mostly just be me sharing a little bit about the Youth Voices program, and then at the end we'll allow for some questions, and you guys can unmute yourself and go ahead and ask those questions that you may have lingering. But happy to see that we've got a decent amount of you joined now. So I'll go ahead and kick it into gear so that way we respect everyone's time. Okay. Let's get this show on the road. Again, my name is Alex Soto. I'm the community media. Well, actually, that's the old title, but I'm the media education coordinator. That was my formal title. But yeah, I teach most of our workshops here at CMAC. Anything from podcasting and video production and studio production to pre-production and everything in between. And then Davey, like I said, will be joining us. You can mostly catch him at the front desk most days, but he also has been helping us with teaching some of our specialty workshops, including animation, editing, and script writing. So yeah, David's going to be joining us. He's great, and we're going to have a good program this year. Let me go ahead and continue on. So first, I'm going to share a little bit about what CMAC is, what we do, because I know a lot of you, especially parents, if you're joining us tonight, along with your students. You may not have heard about CMAC before, so we want to answer some of those questions as to who we are, what we do. So CMAC is a 501c3 nonprofit organization created to help citizens, schools, nonprofits, public agencies, and others better connect with our community through the use of media. Our mission is to empower the community by promoting media literacy, civic engagement, cultural understanding, and creative expression. And how we work is we are membership based. So before I kind of dive into that, I do want to say that if you're a student or if you are a student, if you're selected to be part of our Youth Voices program, then you are given a free membership that lasts about 1 year. Otherwise, if you didn't receive uh, the opportunity to participate in the program, then our membership is on a sliding scale. It used to be students were $25 and everyone else was 50, but now we're kind of introducing this sliding scale where an average membership costs about $100, but we understand that that can be a lot of money to pay. So now the minimum payment for a membership is $40, and that is an annual fee. So $40 for the entire year. That gives you access to our studio spaces, our equipment reservations, our workshops and trainings, consultations, etc. And in this photo here, you can see that's our main television studio. And this isn't the Youth Voices program, but this is a very similar program that we ran last year in collaboration with the Fresno Historical Society for their Sick Oral History program. We are located in downtown Fresno, and that's where all of our studio spaces are. We've got the television studio, podcast studio, and an express studio, which is kind of like a streaming lab of sorts. And then we have access to the equipment checkout. So if you look at this picture, the lighting is off screen, but the lighting setups and the cameras that are on the floor there in the background and the boom pole, all that sort of equipment is available through checkout, and that's available to you as a member. So I do want to stress, if you're a student and for whatever reason you are not selected to participate in this program, we do only accept 12 participants. Membership is always an option and it's always available to you, with the minimum of a $40 payment. That'll give you access to everything. There's no layers after that. That one payment gives you access to everything, and you don't have to worry about, missing out on workshops or equipment reservations. So how we work is we are a PEG station, so that's public education and government. We receive funding through the cities of Fresno and Clovis to be able to provide all this to community. And you can actually watch our channels on cable television. We're on channels 93, 94, 96 on Comcast and Xfinity, and then on channels 99, I believe, for AT&T Uverse. So if you have any of those programs, you can check out, what we have going on our public education and government channels, as well as visiting our website. So you can visit cmac.tv, and you can see live streams of what are taking place on those cable channels. And yeah, and then on our website as well, you can find access to workshops and tutorials, and then also find access to how you can start creating what you want to create. So again, that is cmac.tv. To learn more information about CMAC and learn more information about membership and how that works. So that is a very brief overview of what we do here at CMAC. But today's sole purpose is to go more in depth about the Youth Voices program. So that's what we'll do now. Up next is a little teaser video that our production team made for the Youth Voices program. This is updated for 2024. So if you haven't seen it already, I'll go ahead and play it because it's a nice little excitement video to get you excited about the program.
Participating in the Youth Voices program was actually very helpful in showing me what it's like to do stuff related to film.
You have a whole community of people around you that are professionals and also aspiring filmmakers like you.
This is a way that us youths could get our story out there into the world.
It was really just an awesome experience to get behind the camera and actually do some of the work that goes into making a video.
I got to have hands-on experience in things that I normally wouldn't get at a normal school.
I learned different camera angles and how to shoot different videos.
Everybody has a story to share. Everybody has an experience.
If you really want to get into documentary filmmaking, I would say definitely go for it. There's nothing that could go wrong. Mistakes definitely make you grow, and it's just a learning process. I don't think you're ever going to better yourself if you're not putting yourself out there.
Yeah, that's a fun one. That was all participants from last year's cohort, 2023. So what is it? What is Youth Voices? Youth Voices is a documentary storytelling intensive. 12 participants receive $1,000 stipend and a CMAC membership to create 6 to 8 minute documentaries. CMAC provides access to the training, equipment, and mentorship, and stories can be of either personal or societal significance. Actually, I'll pause here. Yeah, let me pause here so we can get to chatting just a little bit, and then maybe we'll pick back up on the slides. I'm used to doing this in person, so I prefer getting the conversations going to feel comfortable. It's kind of weird not being able to see people. So I'm going to stop sharing for a moment. Let's go ahead and maybe see who's on. You guys want to unmute, show your video if you'd like, not necessary, but I'd like to kind of ask maybe how you've heard about the Youth Voices program, and what you're kind of hoping to learn tonight. And then hopefully I can get that answered as we go on throughout the Q&A.
Raise your hand and tell your name and ask what you want to ask. I think you can't be shy in this.
I had a question about the time commitment. Are the next few slides going to cover the timeline and
Yeah.
the curriculum and some of the policies around like absences? I'm just kind of concerned. It's summer and a
Yeah,
lot
yeah.
of being activities.
Yeah, we'll definitely get into that. I can share a little bit now. So we do take the course of 10 weeks. And for this year, we'll begin on May 31st. And basically we meet every Friday. We meet every Friday, once a week. And I did get some emails this week asking about like, hey, I'm on vacation, for 3 weeks in July. What do you think about that? And to be quite honest, as we get into the end of June and into July, that's where the students will be doing a majority of their filming. So although we might not be meeting every day, it's still required for them to go out and film on their own using the equipment that we're going to be providing. Um, so yeah, it can be kind of a challenge in that, late June, July area, if you're planning to miss more than 2 or 3 weeks, it can be kind of tough just because the students are expected to go out on their own and do all that filmmaking on their own, interviewing, all of that stuff. So yeah, I believe the last day is that second or third week the first or second week in August. So 10 weeks starting on May 31st. But like I said, I'll bring up a slide for that.
And is there a set time?
Yeah, so typically we meet every Friday from 4 to 6 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Larissa. I believe that was you. And Larissa, am I correct in assuming you're a parent?
Yes. Yeah, I'm a parent.
Awesome. And then what is the ages of your student? Are they middle school or high school?
High school.
Great.
6.
Cool. That's great. Vicky, did you have a question?
Yeah, I'm Nikki. I'm actually the adult, but this is the actual student. So do you want to just introduce yourself? I just want to let you know her name isn't Vicky Tarvin. It's my email. So
gotcha.
Her name is Aurora Lawson.
Aurora.
Okay,
Aurora.
and she's 16. Aurora, yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us tonight. And, Samuel, Juan, Amy or Amy, thank you for joining us too. Like I said, you don't have to ask questions, but it helps break the ice for me. I'm not used to doing the Zoom meetings, but thank you guys. Yeah.
All right. My name is Amy, but my daughter Mayla is interested in the program.
Okay.
But what is the age, like the minimum age?
So we say middle school and high school. So if your student is going into middle school, I think that's about the youngest we can accept. And it's technically 18 and under. So even if your student is maybe graduating this year, if they're still 18, they're more than welcome to apply.
Okay, she just turned 12 and she'll start middle school next year. Well,
Yeah.
7th grade that's next year.
Yeah, I mean they're welcome to apply. They may not be accepted into the program, but at least they'll get the experience. Well, I'm not saying that they won't be accepted because of that, but if they don't, at least they'll get the experience of applying, and they can, fine tune their applications, in the future years.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, let's get back to it. Thank you guys for taking that moment. All right, let's get to some important dates. This isn't, the overall comprehensive dates, but yeah, today's the Q&A. Applications close May 13th, and winners are announced May 20th. And then that same week, we'll do a quick turnaround to do a hybrid orientation. Because last year I did notice that parents didn't necessarily know who we were, what we do. So that orientation is meant to bring the students and parents in, either virtually or in person, to get a tour of CMAC, get to know staff. So that way you feel comfortable dropping them off each week here in downtown Fresno at our location. And then the screening is always, well, historically it's been held in September. It just depends on when and where we can get access to a theater. Historically, it has been at the Maya Cinema. in typically in September, but if for whatever reason end of August worked for everybody, I typically do a survey. I'll send out a Google form to all the students to allow them to give their input as to when a good date would be for them, and we get that figured out. Awesome. Yes, beginning Friday, May 31st, and every Friday after that. Again, I think that ends up being the first or second week of August, and we meet from 4 to 6 p.m. And again, that's Central Valley youth age 18 and under. If your student is going into middle, that is perfectly okay. And there's no video production experience necessary. So whether or not you've had that experience isn't entirely necessary. We do understand that, you know, some middle and high school programs do have, you know, video production courses and whatnot. But if your student doesn't have access to that, don't worry. We will get them prepped and prepared to be able to participate in the program. And then again, that $1,000 stipend is distributed at the end of the program, just to ensure that everyone continues to come to those meetings and produces the documentaries as understood. Let's see, what else do we have? And yeah, we'll get back to questions. Not the most, you know, detailed Q&A. It's pretty straightforward. 10 weeks every Friday, 4 to 6 p.m. And you know, we cover everything from pre-production to, you know, the actual filming and recording of the video, how to interview, and then there's assignments each week that get kind of build up on your pre-production. So, you know, like a brainstorming sheet of talking about your topic and what you want to achieve, all the way to, you know, what questions you want to ask and how to reach out to interviewees. We even provide email templates to be able to email folks that you're planning to interview. So we work with the students on every aspect of you know, the video production side of things and the pre-production side of things, as well as the post. So we also spend 2 or 3 weeks going over basics of editing. And again, you do have access to our resources. So if you don't have computers at home, we through our checkout and reservation equipment, we do have MacBooks available for checkout if your student doesn't have access to that at home. So we provide everything, and there's no need to worry about if your students need a camera or a laptop, because we can get all that provided to your students. So I'll go ahead and open it up again for questions.
I have a question. Do you all provide the resources to them over like Google Drive so they have access to any kind of materials or information?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So last year we, for the first time, created a Discord. I don't know if you're familiar with Discord, but Discord is basically like, if you're familiar with like Microsoft Teams or Slack, um, uh, it's that, but it's more kind of user friendly for like gaming. A lot of youth use it, so we decided to hop onto Discord, create a messaging platform for people to be able to reach out to one another, and then that's where we share the all the documents each week for assignments. So that way people can ask any questions that they have, and then anything that requires a response, like they're typing up, you know, questions to a prompt or answers to a prompt, it'll be kind of like a format where they all respond, and then they can respond to one another. So yeah, we post all that, and then we provide links to the Google Docs, so that way they can download and keep.
I do have another question.
Yeah, no worries.
Besides
That's what
the
I'm here for.
aside from the culminating event of the screening of all the films at the end,
Mhm.
do you all provide other opportunities for students to screen their films in other spaces?
That's a good question. So so as well as the screening, the films will also be aired on our cable channels and our website, of course. But then, any other content that those students are creating, they can submit to us, whether they're a member or not. So if they currently create content at school, or their high school program does like a news program, if they're not already sharing it with us, they can, and we can broadcast those on our cable platforms for free. But we don't typically, other than this Youth Voices screening, we don't typically have like another public viewing of those until the next year. So this art hop in April, we was Youth Voices themed, so we had like QR codes all around the walls, and people can scan and view the videos. And then we also had them like on a loop for people to be able to view, but it's a little less formal and than that official screening that takes place at Maya Cinema. Does that answer your question?
Oh yeah, yeah. No, that's great. I hadn't realized that you all also screen other films that they might have created. So that's really cool.
Yeah, so if that's something that interests you, yeah, basically all you have to do is visit cmac.tv/playback, and I can put that in the chat. And if you have, let's see here, if you have any content that you create already, like a YouTube channel, you could submit that to us, and we'll get it on air. And that's for anyone in the community. So if you work for an organization and they also have PSAs or video content, we can get that on our channels. I had a question in the chat that was sent to me.
I have a question.
We will have, oh, okay. Let's see. Who was that?
Oh, okay.
Is that you, Vicky?
Yes, I have a question.
Okay.
Okay. So does the application itself ask the student to list what the topic, or are they, can you give an idea of what the focus of the document are?
I'm sorry, you're cutting out kind of bad. Do you mind typing up the question in the chat?
Put it in the chat. Okay, where is the chat?
It's this.
Okay.
Thank you. And then while you're doing that, I'm going to read a question that I got in the chat previously. Will we have to provide our own transportation? That is a good question, and that's something that I'm hoping to, that I'm hoping CMAC can address going forward with future grants, is be able to look into funding that allow us to provide transportation. In our first year, when it was really small, we were working with another organization. I do believe we were able to bus students in, but as of now, we aren't providing that. So yes, you will have to provide your own transportation. And we do hope that, part of that stipend can help cover some of those costs.
Yeah.
We do understand, depending on where you're coming from, it can be kind of costly to get transportation here to downtown Fresno. So we're hoping at the very least that $1,000 stipend can kind of help alleviate some of those costs. Good question. Okay, well, we cover today the focus / purpose of the video / documentary. Yeah, so I don't know if you've had a chance to look at our application, but it's not something like it's a prompt that you have to respond to. It's really just allowing you the opportunity to share with us like something that you're passionate about, right? Like in the slides I mentioned that it's of personal or societal significance. So is there something that's affecting you in your community? Is there something that's affecting you and kids your age? What is it? Why is it important to you? And how do you plan to go about telling that story? So think about who you might want to interview, who do you have access to realistically, that always helps if you've got a story and you've got a plan for who you can find to help tell that story and why it's important. So whether that's, we get stories about mental health, is there students that and that are comfortable sharing their battles with you, and is there maybe a school counselor that you have access to that can provide insight as far as um, um, professional insight as to into mental health, or if you're doing something on high school athletics. We're in the summertime, so likelihood of people practicing and doing things is kind of small. So how do you plan to tell a story um, that you're passionate about if it's requiring kind of student life? How can we still accomplish a visually interesting story um, if school is not in session? So thinking about those things and giving detailed answers. We don't want short 1 to 2 sentences saying that this is just something you're interested in, you're wanting to get into video. We want a little bit more thought put into it, thinking about things that are affecting you and your community, or passions that you might have, and let those passions show through in the application. I can share, well, let me open it up for more questions, and then if not, I can share kind of our rubric for expectations for the video, and then 2, we can maybe all try to take a peek at the application if you haven't already. Is there more questions? Let's see, Samuel, Amy.
I have a question about like other opportunities for support. Like if they needed help during, I can imagine my child might have questions like during the week. Would they just like email you all and set up like a Zoom appointment, or will you all have like maybe Zoom open like office hours or?
Yep, that's another good question. That's kind of the point of the Discord, is for it to be that one-stop shop. So as well as those comments coming in and them being able to message one another, we do open up a video channel, so that way students can hop in, and we're already waiting in there. If they have questions throughout the week, they can join. They can sorry. Okay. I thought someone was wanting to join, but it looks like someone just enabled closed captioning. Yeah, so they can hop in, ask us questions, and then we'll provide that support, and then they can message us directly on there too. So in the past, we found it's difficult to kind of keep up with the emails that we're dealing with with work, and then also trying to look out for the ones coming in from students. So we're just letting the Discord be our one-stop shop for all of it, and which was, I found, really useful last year, since they're already familiar with using Discord. A majority of them are on it already, so it's easy for them to just hop in during office hours for either myself or Davey. All right, so let me go ahead and try to find this rubric. I thought I had it open already, so let me find it. Yeah. Okay, so this is a rubric I've come up with for this year. An original piece of student media. Of course, we don't want you submitting anything that's either one you've created already and trying to pass it off as something that you created during the program, and 2, that it belongs to you and that you're not using someone else's work to pass as your own. And the length of the piece is 4 to 6 minutes. We do want to try to keep it within that time frame. It can be difficult because we know students, when they're making these documentaries for the first time, it's hard for them to want to or allow themselves to cut people out if they need to. So that's what we're here to help with, is kind of train their eye and train them on how to cut up a documentary and tell a story effectively in that 4 to 6 minutes without a whole lot of fluff and redundant information. This is the format of the media, so 1920 by 1080, 30 frames per second, and then we will be sharing everything to a Google Drive, and I'll be sharing assignments through a Google Drive, and then sometimes there might be opportunities for them to submit assignments through Google Drives as well. Must be free of hate speech, first and foremost, and then not include any sound or music that is copyrighted by someone else. The video examines the topic or issue at depth, citing accurate and relevant evidence and sources, includes interview clips or quotes that are accurately attributed to the speaker. So we're talking about, when you do those interviews, make sure that we have lower thirds and things like that. Has a clearly focused arc with beginning, middle, and end using evidence and reasoning, contains sound effects and music that engage the viewer and do not interfere with the narration or on-camera people or voices. Contains B-roll relevant to the topic or issue and uses stock footage minimally. Has shots that are steady and in focus. So really, just generally we're talking about good camera work and proper mic placement, things like that. Limit distractions with your video, and again, that's all things that we'll teach. And has good pacing and clear narration. If there is narration, it's not necessary, but we do find that some students they like leaning on narration in addition to interviews to help tell their story. Includes an opening title, relevant citations, lower thirds, and closing credits. And then that's just kind of like the last credit that we need to see in the video, attributing this video was made possible by the Community Media Access Collaborative. So that is our rubric. Let me see if I can bring up the application really quickly. Cool. Hope you guys can all see that. This application, let's see, where's the first question? So why do you want to join the Youth Voices program? Whether that's, you want to learn, video production, video production, you want to kind of work on, your skills, you want to meet new people, think about why you might want to join the program. What kind of story would you like to tell? Think about the community issues that affect you or other young people in the Central Valley. And then again, we do want that to be a strong and with as much detail as possible. And then what do you want to personally achieve by creating this documentary? What is your current level of experience? And then these are just kind of like you acknowledging like, hey, we'll need you to be available from this date to this date. This is the 2023 application, but nothing's changed from this year to last year. If anything, we might have just added a demographic question, but nothing pertaining to the bulk of what we're looking at. So that's the application and rubric. So Vicky, I hope that kind of answered your question. So accessibility requirements is just captioning. Not necessarily, but if your student chooses to include captioning, that's a plus. And then when we submit those videos to the channels and to the CMAC playback server, we can include closed captioning along with the videos. But if your student would like to just include that embedded in the video itself, that's perfectly fine. But as of now, it's not a requirement, but I think there's a benefit of considering that. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And we've built in those services to our playback uploads as well, the closed captioning services. So anyone in the community who's uploading videos can elect to include closed captioning in their videos. So we will of course include closed captioning when we upload them to our channels and our playback server. And then we'll maybe consider an option for when the students upload their videos, if we want to require them to embed those in the videos themselves. But thank you. No, I think that brings up a good point. Equity is definitely important to us here at CMAC. Okay. Alrighty, well, if there's no more questions, I'll go ahead and let everyone go. But I guess I just want to thank everyone for being here. Again, applications are due May 13th. And I'll share that slide again.
I'm gonna log off. I just wanted to say thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Applications are due May 13th. So yeah, still plenty of time to get your applications in. So please do so. And then feel free to contact us if you have any questions. My email I'll add to the chat. You could send me questions directly, or if you just have general questions about CMAC, go ahead and email info@cmac.tv. And I'll put that in the chat as well. And then again, visit our website if you'd like to learn more. But yes, thank you everyone for joining us. I'm going to go ahead and end the meeting now. But we hope you consider applying for Youth Voices.